Can you feel the love tonight?
Tonight.
It is where we are. The world for once in perfect harmony.
Ta-da-da.
I should be recording this.
I am. With all
its living things.
So many
Can
things to
you
tell her,
feel
but
the
how to make
love
her see
tonight?
the truth about my past? Impossible. She turn away
from me.
He's holding back, he's hiding. Just what I can't decide. Why won't he be the king I know he is? The king I see inside.
Why is Michael McDonald in the song now?
Well, you know.
You're my baby.
I can see what's happening. What? And they don't have a clue. Who? They'll fall in love, and here's the bottom line. Our trio's down to two. Oh, the sweet caress of twilight. There's magic
everywhere
in the air. And with all this romantic atmosphere, disasters in the air.
All right. That was a good minute and a half of song.
He falls in love tonight. It can be assumed his carefree days with us are history. In short, our pal is doomed.
All right.
Oh, man.
Magnificent. Well, now I have a legitimate use for this little thing.
Awesome.
Because right now, like, this desk is, like, going to be a prominent part of the house now. So, like, I don't want to just put these big-ass speakers on it because it's... I'll send you a picture of this desk later, but it really is super cool and old-looking, which makes it kind of nice to have this big modern computer on top of it. So,
Yeah.
I'm really proud of it. I'm glad I got
Sweet.
it. Anyway, well, hello, Dustin.
Hello, Hooper.
I didn't, shit.
You probably should go do that real quick.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 33 of the HooperCast. I am Hooper, and this is my cast. And Dustin Weldon is also joining me once again.
Hello, guys and girls and
Yes.
men and women
Yes.
and boys and girls.
Oh no. Well, don't get Kevin Clash on these people, Dustin. Oh. Well, I guess you mentioned girls, so you're already ahead of the curve there.
That's very true. Oh, man.
I don't know if I'm going to keep that. That was really, really uncalled for.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
well, let me add. Don't get allegedly like Kevin Clash.
I won't get allegedly like him.
This is the first episode from my new surroundings, the Hooper Castle.
The Hooper Castle.
Now, come April, Tara's going to please insist I don't call it that, but...
Too bad. That's what it is. That's its name.
But yeah, I'm in my new apartment, and it's pretty sweet. And
Yeah. It looks nice.
Can you see my couch?
You got a nice couch.
Yeah.
Is that a brand new couch?
Yeah, Tara bought that couch.
That is quite... It looks very comfortable.
It really is. It's great.
The cushions look so thick that you could just lay there and go to sleep.
It's a great couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, today we're just going to talk about film news. Yeah, pretty much it.
Sounds
We're
good to me.
both sort of anticipating The Hobbit right now, so I don't know that till then we're not going to have a movie really to talk about. I haven't seen many movies since we did the Skyfall review. Well, that's not true. I saw a couple. I was watching The Dark Knight Rises last night on Blu-ray, and that was really cool.
Yeah, did you get that, or did you get the big pack of, like, the trilogy?
No, I got that, because I was just like, normally I would sell the two I already had and get the trilogy, but at this point I was like, I'm just gonna finish the circle up and
Sure.
not double dip. What did you do?
Makes sense. What did I do?
Yeah.
I sold the two that I had and put it towards that one.
Oh, nice.
I ended up paying $12 for the set.
Not bad.
Which is less than I would have paid for just The Dark Knight Rises.
That's
I was
cool.
pretty stoked.
Yeah, I had reserved that and Finding Nemo, and they came out on the same day, and so all my store credit vanished when I bought those.
Instantly, yeah.
I have like $9 left. I had like $53 or something nuts like that.
Yeah.
So that's gone. Oh well.
I didn't have much. I just had. I took some stuff up there a few months ago, and I didn't buy anything. I just got the store credit or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
So I put that down on the trilogy, and then also whatever I had for The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, and so yeah, $12.
Yeah. Watching The Dark Knight Rises really makes me want to like work out. I don't know what it is, but like
Yeah.
I was watching it, and then like I don't know if it's just the music or something, but after a while I was just like, huh. I did like 200 push-ups.
Yeah.
So I'm really sore. Yeah, it was...
Makes me want to fall into a pit and climb my way out.
It's sort of like what the movie did to me because, I feel like it threw me into a pit and I climbed out. Because while watching it, I'm reminded of why I liked it in the first place. I just enjoy watching it, and I enjoy the overall story. But I am reminded of lots of things I didn't like about it. And
Sure, and I was too. That's interesting that you bring that up because when I watched it, I saw it twice in theaters, and I think both times I was just kind of caught up in the spectacle of it. And then this time I was able to, I don't know, maybe focus a little bit on some of the things that didn't quite jive with me.
Yeah,
and just some character motivation stuff that didn't quite make sense, or some cool looking things that just didn't quite do it for me. And anyway, yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up because watching it this time around, I seem to notice more things that kind of made me angry. But overall, I still really enjoy the movie, and those things don't really drag it down too much for me.
Right, exactly. Like I'm pulled equally in both directions in even more a sense. I notice more stuff I don't like, but I appreciate even more the things I do.
Right, exactly.
The quality is crystal clear. Like I love it. It just looks so. All the IMAX is damn
that
beautiful.
Is awesome. Looks beautiful.
Yeah, really good stuff.
I wonder if it's because I was thinking about this the other day. I wonder if some of the things in The Dark Knight Rises that don't quite make much sense. I wonder if that's left over from like Inception. Like Christopher Nolan obviously had some sort of an idea in Inception that as a director he was going to withhold more information than maybe he should have for the audience. And I wonder if he was still sort of in that mode. And some of the things towards the beginning of the movie that don't quite make sense, I wonder if it's just because he just didn't fully explain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just like a leftover mindset from Inception. But
yeah,
which I rewatched recently too.
I still really love Inception. There are definitely problems with it, though. Well, again, I'm noticing that with a good bit of his films. Like but of the Batman movies, the one that has the most problems is the third one, I think. Yeah. I don't know which one is better in terms of issues with The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. I don't have like there are no mistakes that jump out at me. Although I will say there's a continuity error because in Batman Begins, Bruce Wayne has like a full beard when he's in prison, and then the third one they decided to go with Christian Bale's real facial hair, which is not full beardish, and I was just like, okay.
Let me ask you this: of the three, which do you think is the best film? Not necessarily which is your favorite, but which do you think is the more like perfectly crafted film?
Man. Definitely between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out... I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with The Dark Knight, although I'm trying to figure out reasons why it's not Batman Begins. I don't know. What about you?
I think The Dark Knight is probably the better made of the three, but only because it's the most ambitious.
Yeah.
Well, okay. actually, The Dark Knight Rises is the most ambitious, but The Dark Knight was ambitious, but like everything made sense. Everything fit together pretty perfectly.
Right.
And between the acting and between the direction and between, everything that was going on, it all kind of gelled very, very perfectly. Now, if you ask me which was my favorite, I'd have to go with Batman Begins. And I don't know whether that's nostalgia or whether, because I've been a Batman fan for my whole life, but Batman Begins really kind of reinvigorated that in me. So I don't know if it's just because of like my personal attachment to the film, or the fact that it just seems the most comic booky, and at the same time the most like a Christopher Nolan movie. But something about Batman Begins is my favorite, and I can rewatch that movie over and over and over.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, I feel like, at least my impression with you is like knowing how analytical you are and your personal connection with Batman as a character. I feel like the fact that just the history they established with the character in the movie appeals to you, and that's not really there in The Dark Knight, but it's not like it should be there. It's just not part of the story to tell anything more about Bruce Wayne's past, but all about his parents and the circumstances surrounding their death and the effect it had on him as a person. When you nail it in a film like that, it really appeals to people who, fans who care about that,
Right. And I'm one of those people. The origin of Batman is probably always going to be the best Batman story that can be told. Only because it's a story that can be constantly changed and retold and reimagined, all while holding true to the same story and the same actions and psychological effects on Bruce. But it's always interesting to see what an artist does with that story and how they change it and make it their own, while keeping it the same that you always have known. And so for me, the origin story of Batman is one of the best stories that can be told, and I just love watching it unfold.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why it's my favorite. Just to see, the boy that became Batman, I think is interesting to me.
Speaking of Batman, it's a slight change of subject, but I've been playing. I recently got an Xbox 360, and I really like it. And I would like to talk briefly about how much I'm enjoying Arkham Asylum so far.
Yes,
because that game is magnificent.
It really is.
And I'm right about where the Killer Croc part is. I haven't played it in a few days because I got responsibilities. But but I'm playing it, and I enjoy it. Because not only is the gameplay fun, but it's not just run and gun, run and punch. It's you have to use your brain, and I think that it's great because lots of video games these days don't challenge the player in that way to use their deductive reasoning. Just the fact that there are Riddler challenges throughout the game encourage you to think. And that's kind of cool. I like it when it's almost like when a film tries extra hard. I like it when a game gives you that much and has that much depth to it. So I appreciate that, and moreover, I enjoy it like in terms of sticking to the Batman
mythos.
Mythos and everything, but delivering something original but so true to the characters. I think it's closest out of everything I've seen. I mean, obviously I have all the films. But I feel like I'm playing a big, long graphic novel, and I really enjoy that.
I agree.
I really, because we've talked about this, and I really respond to the tone of Batman and the seriousness with which these situations are treated. So I enjoy both kind of the comic bookiness of the characters, but also like the consequences of what they do, and that's very real in here. Just the fact that even the fact that it's as dark as Batman, picking up like a stunned guard and punching him in the face to knock him out while he's already on the ground,
right,
is great to me. I love it.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
Arkham Asylum is hands down the best comic book game ever made. and you touched on part of it is because it makes you feel like you're Batman, like in a way that most video games don't. Like you can play Halo or you can play whatever, and you kind of are Master Chief, but there's not. But beyond just running and shooting, it doesn't really make you feel like that character. And what you were talking about, how you have to sort of think like Batman would, I think that's what does it. The fact that, I mean, and the riddles aren't like super hard or anything, but if it's something like, Acrobat's parents, whatever. And so all of a sudden, okay, that's Dick Grayson. So then you have to use your mind and like find out, okay, well, where would this Dick Grayson thing be? And you have to go over there and scan it or whatever it is. But yeah, I haven't played Arkham Asylum in a long time. Once you're done with it, I highly, highly, highly recommend Arkham City.
Yeah, I'm being told so many great things about Arkham City.
Arkham City took everything that was great about Arkham Asylum and improved it. And not only are there just new things that Batman can do, like, in Arkham Asylum, you can kind of jump off of something and glide for a little while. Arkham City, you can dive and then, like, shoot back up and, like, really, like, ride air currents and whatnot. And it's really fun. Anyway, if you get around to playing Arkham City, I think you really enjoy that even more because it's a much more full experience because it's not just locking you into the asylum, but instead you're locked into a quarantined, part of Gotham City, but Gotham City nonetheless. And anyway, it's just really cool, and I love, like you said, it's sort of like a graphic novel because you've got all kinds of villains. It's not just, okay, here's Joker, but it's like, oh yeah, here's also Killer Croc and Ra's al Ghul and all of the... Wait, was Ra's al Ghul in it? I can't remember.
And not that I've encountered, at least.
Okay, no, I don't think he is.
I found his body, I think.
That's right. And then, but Killer Croc and Harley Quinn and just everybody. And I think it's,
The Scarecrow sequences are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
They're so creepy. Like,
yeah.
There's that one sequence where you're walking down the hallway and you're reliving your Thomas and Martha Wayne's murder.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
You go from being Batman to being little Bruce Wayne, and I was just like, I was so creeped out, and like I fell asleep on my couch during it because I was playing like late at night, and I woke up hearing those noises, and I was like, oh my god! I was like freaking out, and then it froze on the screen. The game, my Xbox messed up, and the game froze on Bruce Wayne crying. It like looped him crying over his parents' dead bodies, and I was like, ah! Yeah,
actually, I think it does that. I think it like stays that way for a little while, and then you can get up and move it again. I don't think that was your Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Okay, because I played it again. It was quicker, but probably because they knew like you've encountered this clip already.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it
but
was.
I think I
creepy.
remember that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love those games.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge gamer, but Arkham, those games are magnificent.
Yeah, I'm not a huge gamer either. I wanted to get the Xbox to have something interactive to do at the end of my day rather than just coming home and watching something.
Sure.
As much as I like movies, sometimes I feel like I want to do something. Yeah, I'm vegging out. I want to do something that does engage me. Could you hear that, by the way, just then?
No.
Oh, okay. My air conditioner, when it finishes, it goes... It's like... It was really scary the first time it happened. Tara and I were like, oh my god! Yeah. But yeah, I just like having something interactive to do. So, but I especially with respect to Tara and our finances, I don't want to pour too much money into the Xbox. So I bought a couple new. I got like Halo 4 and Call of Duty 2, and Forza Motorsport, which came with the bundle. Because those are new. I want to get a couple fairly new games, but most of the games I have, like Arkham Asylum, are old.
Yeah.
It and Grand Theft Auto, and I just got Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which is like several years old, and it was like $6.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I played that game a long time ago. I think for the PS2. That was epic.
Yeah.
I loved that game.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that, and so I just know that at the rate I'll get to play them, it'll take me a long time to get through all these games, and they all have lots of replay value, so I'm trying to save money on the games and just not go nuts with it. Like, I have friends at work who are saying, like, you should play Skyrim, and I'm like, see, that I feel like I can pass on Skyrim. It sounds fun, but I'm not initially interested. I just don't want to put myself in that position to where I'm going to feel like I have to play it. You know,
right.
Or Borderlands 2, or people are like, Kellen really wants me to get Battlefield 3, but I don't want to get into a big game universe. I bought the Xbox to casually play it. I didn't really buy it so I could, you know, detach from my wife.
Right, yeah.
So, not that you would necessarily, but I feel like, I don't know, that's what she's worried about. I don't want to prove her case, so... But yeah, I'm enjoying it, and it's great. It's good stuff. Yeah. Speaking of superheroes, you and I have both seen the new Man of Steel trailer.
Yeah.
Which dropped today, at least. Yeah.
Fairly surprisingly, too. I thought it was going to be like after it premieres in front of The Hobbit that we'd see it.
Yeah. But what'd you think?
I was pretty much blown away by it.
Yeah?
Yeah. What did you think?
I loved it. Like, I liked how there was that still... I like that the movie at least seems to have a really intimate shot design. I know it's really technical, but when you think about it, it makes it immediately not generic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, immediately it has its own identity as a film, and I appreciate that. I didn't think when they first announced that Zack Snyder was going to direct it, I was not as skeptical as others because I knew that, well, the film will have a really distinct style, and I think that Superman needs that right now. I felt a lot better when Christopher Nolan came on as like a producer because I knew that it would have creative integrity as well. And at least from what the trailer shows, like it looks both visually stunning and creatively fulfilling. And so I feel like I'm going to get action set pieces that I want, but but there's only a little bit of that at the end. Like most of the trailer was, here's this character, and then like the last 20 seconds were action, and you know, Michael Shannon, and but most of it was, you know. I almost said Bruce. Clark talking to his father. I like that. I like the balance there. I like how they're not just trying to market it purely on Superman smashing big things.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and this is since I've been following this project for a while, and I think we all have, and it's easy to get upset about it, you know, for me because I'm a huge Superman fan, and especially after Superman Returns, I just want it to be good, and I want it to resonate with people who aren't Superman fans, because I really think that character has a lot to offer, and so I wanted it to be good, and I had a few reservations. You know, I know Zack Snyder's a good director, but he has a habit of going a little overboard with the CG, or stylizing, you know, things that shouldn't be. But this movie, this trailer, you know, you can't accurately judge a movie based on a trailer, but as much as you can, this movie seems like it's all at once like a big budget action film and also like an art house like drama. Right. You know, like you've got like these close-ups of like rocks with like water splashing over them, and then you have like the guy like in the water, and it's like a slow motion shot of him like opening his eyes. You know, it sounds arty, you know, when you're talking about it, and so what I enjoyed was what you were talking about, how the first half of the trailer seems to be talking about who is this character who has this power, and you know, what are his motivations and fears and thoughts, and then it goes into the action stuff, and I think that's great, because I think what a lot of people want out of this movie is action. But I think this was a good reminder that, hey, it's not about action. You have to love the character too. Yeah. And what I got from this trailer was a sense of respect for the character, and that it's not just like a huge, beat 'em up movie. Now, obviously, I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe too, but this definitely seemed different. From this one trailer, this seemed more mature. It seems more grounded than the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, who knows whether or not that's a good thing, but it seems that way. And I like the fact that they're taking that approach with this character. But anyway, yeah, I love the action. I love Michael Shannon. I love the cast is brilliant. I think Henry Cavill is going to be amazing as Superman. Mm-hmm. I think Amy Adams is going to really redefine Lois Lane. Ma and Pa Kent. I mean, for characters that probably have a very small amount of actual screen time, they got two actors who can really pull that off and make, because you have to remember Superman was molded by those people. Clark Kent was molded by these two people, John and Martha Kent. And if they had just cast anybody, it might not have worked. But the fact that they're going with Diane Lane and Kevin Costner, mm-hmm. I think they're going to make an impact not only on that character but on the audience as well, because we need to feel that they're impactful in his life. Right. Russell Crowe as Jor-El. There's only like a brief shot of him, but I really think he's going to bring more emotion to that character's role than there has been before. Yeah, more gravity. Yeah. And anyway, I really, really like the way that this movie's going, and I love the costume. Obviously, there's gripes that it doesn't have the trunks, and there's gripes that, it's like too bright still, whatever. I mean, it seems to be that you can't please everybody all the time, but I like the suit. Yeah. And I love, it served to remind me of this. Superman Returns, the cape had like a leathery kind of texture to it. And it was really dark and like gross looking. Yeah. And this was like that awesome, like bright red Thor looking cape, because I've always thought like that cape is like a reminder of the fact that this guy's like a god. This guy could like be a king, you know what I mean? And yet he's not. And so I've always loved like the regality of that cape. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, I love that is there. And now let me ask you this: there's something that we don't see in this trailer, and that is the classic Clark Kent as reporter for the Daily Planet. We don't see that in this trailer. Now, I wonder if they're sort of doing, how The Amazing Spider-Man didn't have Peter at the Daily Bugle. Right. I wonder if it's going to be sort of the same in this, that he's not actually going to work for the Planet. Maybe the film will end with him getting a job at the Planet, but because we haven't seen anything of him, in the glasses or whatever, and like a suit and tie, makes me question whether or not that's going to be in the film. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't mind that, because I think that if they're not going to do it in this film, they need to do it in the next, or at least end with him, because he needs to have Clark Kent as an alter ego. Well, I mean, he obviously does, but publicly as an adult. I mean, his parents know him as Clark, but I mean, people need to. I don't mind it because maybe they feel like, one, to have him work at the Planet just right off, I wouldn't say it would copy the format of Superman the movie. But it's something to where, like, who Clark Kent is, and it may not necessarily be essential to have him work at the Bugle in this movie.
The Planet.
The Planet. Oh, my God.
Their names are so close.
First he's Bruce, and now he works at the Bugle.
Yes. Hello, I'm Bruce Kent. I work at the Daily Bugle. With J. Jonah White and Jimmy Parker. My girlfriend Mary Jane Lane.
So I don't think that it's essential to have him work there in this movie. Perhaps they just thought it would just crowd it, because it seems like they're more focusing on who he is, like him being abroad or whatever, like finding himself. and really establishing his character through that rather than through almost exclusively Metropolis and Kansas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and so I don't mind that because I liked it in Superman the movie, like because you get to see how earnest he is and how
submissive.
Like who he really is, and that's fine. But I like sort of seeing him as sort of not an angry young man, but more of
a lost,
a lost young man who is trying to figure out who he is and what his purpose is, and then part of he's going to have an overall arc, but part of a single movie arc would be like him maybe figuring out who he is, and once he's established his own identity, he can then masquerade as Clark Kent. So I don't mind that from a character point of view.
I agree. I think there are three distinct characters for Superman, and I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people to understand. And that's why we get things like Superman Returns that didn't really quite get that. The three characters are this: there's Clark Kent when he's with his parents. This is who that character is. At least this is the way they seem to be going in this film. That the character is who he is with his parents. Then he puts on the cape. Now, the Superman personality is closer to his actual personality than, say, the fake Clark Kent.
Clark Kent, yeah.
But he is maybe a little more played up or a little more. He realizes, okay, when I put this cape on, I'm going to have to stand up straight, and I'm going to have to, project more gravity than I normally would. He knows he's got to be more theatrical. He has to act
a little, theatrical and cocky than he is in real life, because that has to draw a comparison to Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not constantly concerned about people figuring out who he is, but
And then the next thing is Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. This is the Clark Kent. This is the fakest of the three.
Right.
This is like, hey, I can't do anything. I'm, tripping and falling and messing up my words and whatnot. That's the fakest of the three. So for that reason, I can understand why they'd leave him out. Why would we bother getting to know a character who's fake when we can spend the majority of our time getting to know the real guy?
The real guy.
And then we get to know. I mean, Superman is the real guy. He's just more theatrical. So in a sense, all we're getting to know in this film, perhaps, is the real guy.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that this could do is if Lois Lane knows of Superman, but Clark Kent doesn't work at the planet, then maybe when he eventually does, a lot of people have problems with the whole "let me put on a pair of glasses and you won't recognize me" kind of thing.
Right.
If she doesn't know Clark Kent, then all she knows is Superman, and then by the time he works at the planet, maybe in movie 2 or 3, then maybe she already knows his secret anyway, and she can help him keep it. Whereas in Superman the movie, Clark moves to Metropolis, gets the job at the planet, and then puts on the suit and goes flying around, but she already knows Clark Kent. Before she knows Superman, she knows Clark Kent. And this is sort of the reversal of that. She knows Superman, but not Clark Kent. And, I think that's interesting too. And and that's one of the things that I'm eager to see this movie do. You remember the Green Lantern film from, what was that, last year? The big thing was, okay, he puts on like a little like fake looking green mask, and Blake Lively doesn't recognize him. Like, that doesn't seem right.
To be fair,
but they
Blake
address
Lively
that.
Seems easy to fool.
This is very true. Not the sharpest tool on the shed, that one. But they even address it, and she's like, okay, I know that's you, Hal. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if they're going to do sort of the same thing, because you do really have to suspend your disbelief with the whole Superman costume thing. Or rather the Clark Kent costume. But, people forget that it's not just about the glasses. It's also about the personality and the way that he carries himself. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a wise move to not focus on the fake character.
I also like that it's sort of, to the casual observer, makes Clark Kent even less of a suspect in terms of being Superman if they don't show up on the scene at the same time.
Right, yeah.
Also, if they want to eventually go the route of, obviously they want to, like with Clark and Lois being romantic interests, it speaks more to their relationship to have him show up after the supposedly more interesting Superman has been around and caught her attention.
Yeah.
That's a potential problem with superhero movies, is like that, they end up unintentionally dumbing down the heroine because it makes it there's not enough argument against her being with the hero because he's a superhero,
Yeah.
It's sort of, there's too many movies where I see where it's like, well, what about him do you like? It's because he can fly, that kind of thing. Like, what if he hits you? Like he just
disintegrated.
It's okay. Yeah. But I like the fact that if he's already, I just see it as if Superman's already been around, she's, fascinated with him, but she's genuinely, ultimately drawn to Clark's, his personality and his good qualities, then, I like that.
Yeah, sure.
So I sort of like them delaying, like, the buffoonish, klutzy Clark Kent, as long as it's not a permanent, as long as they're not going to have him work at, an accountant or something,
Hi, I'm Clark Kent. I Target, your Target cashier.
Yeah, he's like,
did you find everything you're looking for today?
Yeah,
he's like a 6'5" guy, checking you out at Target,
Right. No, I don't mind it. That's fine with me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think they're definitely going in the right direction, and I'm really excited for the film. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the look of it. I love just everything about it. And I love the fact that the trailer didn't really give anything away. A lot of trailers give everything away up front. Right. We didn't even get a full shot of him in the costume. It was just kind of like some faraway shots and whatnot. And I like the way that this is going.
I wonder if a lot of that was Nolan going, okay, we're going to pull back.
Yeah.
Here's how we do this.
Yeah.
Here's how we gain the respect of the fans and still show enough to get people to see the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good movie. Yeah. I'm gonna call it right now. I read this article the other day. I'll mention it real quick. I don't know if you saw the poster they released a few days ago, where Superman is being escorted by cops or whatever, and he's in handcuffs, and there's a shot of it in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that, and I think that sends a very powerful message for what this film is and who this character is. That here's a guy who can rip those handcuffs and or melt them with his heat vision, or whatever. But he chooses to, be captured at that point. And I think that definitely speaks to the character a whole lot, and I think it's very effective. And then, if you think about Superman's always sort of been on the forefront. Well, not recently, but he has been on the forefront of trends in the comic industry. In 1938, when he was published, he was a huge hit, and everyone after that was either trying to be him or trying not to be him, but it was one of the two. So he directly inspired, all the heroes that came after. Batman, Flash, Green Arrow, even Marvel's Spider-Man and Captain America, and all of those came from Superman. And people like Iron Man were trying not to be Superman. And then Superman the movie came out in, what was that, 78, I guess? and he wrote, basically, there had been superhero movies before that, but Superman the movie came up with the formula. It was like, well, here's how you make a superhero movie. And so what Richard Donner did with that was really make like the formula and show the mold that a superhero movie should be. And to an extent, we're still following that mold. Then Superman Returns came out and didn't really do anything for the character at all. And so I think this one has a lot of potential to be a game changer again, to really show something that we've never seen before, whether that's a more personal side to a superhero, or that is, some fights that, are ridiculously intense. I mean, there's been some really good superhero movie fights. I mean, look at the Avengers. But Superman has the potential to deliver some, like, fights on, like, the scale of gods. You know what I mean? Yeah. And whether this movie achieves that or not, I don't know. But Superman has that potential, and I hope that they use that well. And because it could very well be that after this movie, things are changed again.
Yeah, and I think just the fact that Lex Luthor isn't the villain helps with that, because I never had a problem with Lex as a villain because he's a good villain. The only problem with him is he is not a hand-to-hand formidable match for Superman, and so you can't have Superman punch him because he'll die. So how do you... So the only way Superman beats him is like with wits, and that's kind of cool, but that's not the only thing you want to see him do. Sure. So I like that his adversary is arguably, equally as powerful, and can take a punch without his brain just shattering into pieces, or
exactly.
So
I agree. I think Lex Luthor is my second favorite villain of all time, behind the Joker, but you're right, he can't punch him. I mean, sure, they do the things in the comics like, oh, we're going to give him a suit and he can fly around and whatnot, and it's basically like an Iron Man suit that Lex is in. And that's cool and all, but Superman can't fight Lex. Lex is like a mental villain, like the Riddler. Like the Riddler doesn't pose a threat to Batman beyond mentally.
Yeah, sort of the same with the Joker in a way. I mean, they say the Joker is surprisingly skilled at hand-to-hand combat, but he couldn't. I don't feel like he could beat Batman in a fight or even really. No. He could do more. I don't know, but so you can't have. It would be disappointing to watch Batman fist fight the Joker, but the Joker will. That's why, at least like back to the game, the Joker knows how to employ certain people. He knows to put certain things Batman needs in Killer Croc's lair, and then you have to fight Croc, who all he does is fight. He's not really that smart, but all he does is fight. He's a big,
enormous monster.
Yeah. Anyway. Staying on the theme of comic books, Martin Sheen will come back for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I have two questions. The first one is, are you even interested in seeing The Amazing Spider-Man 2? And the second is, if so, what do you think they'll bring him back for? In what capacity do you think he'll be back for? I mean, because, spoiler, Uncle Ben's dead.
Yeah. Well, first off, I think, obviously Uncle Ben was in all three of the other movies, too.
That's true.
So it'll be a flashback. It'll be like a memory or something. But am I looking forward to The Amazing Spider-Man? No. Will I see it? Maybe.
Yeah.
But am I looking forward to it? God, no. I hated that movie. I can't say anything else other than I hated that movie. And although I love Andrew Garfield and he could be a good Spider-Man, I will not be seeing that movie. Well, okay, never mind. I probably will be seeing that movie. I'm not an idiot. I will probably be seeing that movie. But I don't really want to. Is that weird to say? Like, I'm going to see it, but I don't want to.
I feel the same way. I feel like it's going to have the same effect as the first one, which is I'm against the idea of it being. I'm against it in concept, and then the marketing team will do a good job of selling it to me, and so I'll end up going, maybe this will be worth my time, and I imagining, unless, I mean, they kept Mark Forrester. They're not even going in a different direction with it. So, same director, same people.
You mean Mark Webb?
Shit. God, what is wrong with me?
I had to think about it. I was like, who's Mark Forrester? And I was like, oh, wait. He means the other guy.
So, the fact they're keeping Mark Webb just tells me that they're not... That, yeah, we're going to continue doing what we're doing, and what they did sucked. So...
Yeah, exactly.
So I imagine, I can only assume it's going to disappoint me again. But I feel like it's likely I'll end up seeing it.
Yeah. Plus, Jamie Foxx as Electro. You got to be kidding.
Okay.
Like, okay, whatever. Jamie Foxx is okay, I guess. But, like, what the... Like, look, okay, Electro's a goofy villain as it is. All he can do is, like, shoot electricity or, like, control electricity or that's it, you know? Like, he can't even do anything. And so let me tell you how the climax of this film is going to be. He's on top of a building or something, and he's got, like, I've got all the electricity in New York! And then he's, like, firing electricity bolts as Spider-Man, like, weaves through them and then just punches him once and he's dead, you know? Like that. That's how that happens, the end. And there's probably a whole bunch of more, like, angst in there, like, I'm Spider-Man, but I'm depressed about it. And then freaking Mary Jane's gonna be in the thing, so she's gonna be like, "Hey, what's up, Tiger?" And then Gwen Stacy's gonna be like, "Yo, that's my man." And then they're gonna have, like, a fist fight or something. And that's how that whole movie. I just described that entire film.
They're gonna recast Monique as Gwen Stacy.
Yes, it is now Monique.
Yo, that's my man.
Yo, that's my man. Don't you touch my Spider-Man. That's mine. But yes, and so yes, that's how that movie's gonna happen. And I'm gonna see the trailers and be like, oh great, this is bullcrap again. They need to have, like, another, like, good villain. Electro's a cartoon villain. Like, I just don't see how that can be, like, frightening. Like, you absorbed electricity from that outlet. My alarm clock does the same thing. I'm not scared of it. What are you going to do? Tell me the time, Electro? Wake me up for class?
Are you going to wake me up in time for work, Electro?
Also, I heard that they might bring J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah Jameson in the film.
Oh, how dare he?
I know. He's just like, oh God, remember those old ones? Let's do that. And then they're going to bring him in there, and he'll be the best part of the whole movie.
I know, and people are going to mistake that for the movies getting better when it's really just him being funny.
Yeah. Or then, like, the casual fan or the casual, like, viewer will be like, so this is the same, like, you know,
universe,
Spider-Man or whatever. Maybe Spider-Man's the code name and Peter Parker's the code name for different Spider-Man. That's just going to be bullcrap. Also, they just cast Harry Osborn as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know who's playing him. Some dude. I think he's from Chronicle or something.
Gotcha.
And anyway, he could probably be a good what's his face? Harry Osborn.
When they
his
were
name is Dane DeHaan.
Who?
Dane DeHaan.
When they first had the list of the people they were gonna who do you think would get cast? How about these people? One of the people on the list was Dave Franco, and I was like, way to pigeonhole yourself by getting Sam Raimi's Harry Osborn's brother to be Harry Osborn.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, how can anybody top Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin? It's not going to happen.
No.
They should just get Willem Dafoe again, because you can't top him.
They should have just kept the movies going with Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi, because they were better.
Yeah. Or, hey, you know what else they could have done? Write a good fourth movie or just write a good movie, period. Like,
I know.
It doesn't even have to be connected to the Sam Raimi movies. Just write a good one. It's not hard.
It's not even that hard.
No. It's not hard at all.
Speaking, still remaining on comic book news, the Fantastic Four reboot will be here in 2015.
I hope I'm dead by then. So I don't have to suffer through another one of those piles of rubbish.
It was definitely still through Fox, and yep.
I don't even have anything to say.
Yeah, I don't even know anything about the story or anything. Yeah. Anyway, well,
we should change this from the HooperCast to the comic book cast.
Well, it's not the next topic's not comic book related, but still sort of weird, sometimes overdone, stylized related. The poster for Michael Bay's Pain and Gain is out.
Oh yeah, super goofy.
In which it's like a strangely, I'm gonna maybe the first one to say homoerotic kind of thing, because whenever there's a trailer or a poster, or any sort of image that is trying to really promote masculinity. Mark Wahlberg is wearing the gayest wife beater I've ever seen. First of all, like,
yes,
it's not like a Wolverine wife beater. It looks like a girl's shirt on him.
Yeah,
it looks like a girl's wife beater, like the wife's husband beater, and he's wearing it. And then The Rock is sitting on a weight bench, and there's like the biggest weights I've ever seen on this bench press going on, and there's a big American flag as the background.
Yeah.
America! Yeah. Alright, hang on, you're Starscreaming.
Rolling, let's slate it.
Alright, I'm rolling too.
Oh, I broke it!
What?
I broke it! I broke it! It's gone!
What? Will it still slate, or is it?
No, it won't. I have to hold it right here with my thumb, or else it just goes. Help! And look at it, so silent. Help!
It's like you broke its jaw and its mouth is just hanging open. Like,
I broke it. How did that happen?
Oh, I wish they could have seen that. Disney's.
Did you see the trailer for Oblivion or After Earth?
I was gonna. You know what's weird? I forgot earlier. I was going to ask you the exact same question, like with both of the questions in there. Yes, I saw them both.
Yeah.
I think
I thought they were fairly similar.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think it's creepy how much Will Smith's son looks like him.
Yeah.
That looks pretty interesting, although I don't know why he's talking like a robot in the trailer.
Yeah. I'll admit, yeah, it looks interesting, but I'm not going to go see that in theaters. I mean,
I won't either.
Unless it gets like really good reviews, because that's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
What?
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan directed that, but they don't say it in the trailer because they know if they said it, everyone would be like, "Nope, I'm out." So yeah, that's an M. Night movie.
That's the first time that it's been a marketing strategy to not tell you the director's name.
Yeah, exactly. Like they'll even tell you Brett Ratner's name, but they won't say M. Night Shyamalan anymore.
That should tell you something. Brett Ratner's like, say what you want about me, but I can still get people.
At least I'm not M. Night.
Yeah, at least I'm not M. Night Shyamalan.
At least I didn't do The Last Airbender.
Yeah,
but I will say there's some cool looking shots in the trailer. Like I don't know who the DP is, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks cool.
Definitely won't see that. Oblivion, though, I will see.
Yeah, I'll see.
I like Tom Cruise. I mean, you know,
oh no,
say what you will, he's crazy, but I like Tom Cruise.
I definitely love Tom Cruise. I was surprised he didn't run in the trailer. I was definitely looking for that. But however, he did shout, and I love it when he shouts. Yes, yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. And he's wearing his New York hat, his Yankees hat. Yeah, his Yankees hat. It left over from War of the Worlds. Hang on a second, someone's at my door. Okay.
What if I just hear a gunshot and you die? Hello, Hooper.
Oh, yeah.
Your time has come. And then like a silencer shoots you, and then you fall on the ground and you're dead. You know what we do need to talk about?
What?
The Star Trek trailer.
Oh, yes, we do. What really is there to say? I mean, it was pretty cool. Definitely going to be seeing it.
Yeah, me too. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be good because he's good in everything. So why not this?
Right.
And freaking, I don't think he's playing Khan.
No.
Some people still think he's playing Khan, and I don't think he is. And then some people still think he's playing Gary Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's playing him either. I think it's just a brand new character. I don't think we're supposed to, know who he is. I think nerds are just looking into it and being like, "Oh, I know who it is." I wasn't really a nerd voice. I don't know why I did that voice.
Well,
I know who it is. It's Khan. But yeah. So anyway, that looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty, I don't have too much to say about it. I just I'm pretty interested, and I mean, hell, I'll just wait till I see the movie to figure out who he is. But
Right, exactly.
Someone's going to spoil it for me anyway, so whatever.
So I've been watching Castle recently.
Yes.
Yeah, I blew through season 2. I'm on season 3. Yeah, I've been watching Castle recently. There's not much to say about it. It's just a show. It's a good way to, kill time.
Kill time. I haven't watched any Rescue Me in a while. Tara's watched like 3 seasons of Doctor Who already. Yeah, I know. So she really likes it, and she's insisting that. For the episode and a half that I saw, I liked. So she's implying, she's especially talking about whatever happens in the season 3 finale. She says I would really like and appreciate like the way it was filmed, and just as a science fiction fan. So I was just like, well, shit. So I'll get around to that at some point. Right now, I'm just trying to burn through movies on Netflix, and I watched Bronson on Netflix, which I ultimately didn't really like. I mean, it's really cool to watch Tom Hardy's performance.
Yeah.
So I went right from that to watching The Dark Knight Rises, and just every time Bane was on screen, I was like, I've seen your penis.
Oh, God.
Well, he like, gets naked and then like fights a bunch of guards in Bronson. Yeah, it's one of those movies.
One of those movies.
Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting, to say the least.
Well, yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, well, damn. Do you want to put this one to bed?
I suppose. Good night, HooperCast.
Good night, HooperCast.
I did sort of a hymn. Say, good night, HooperCast. Powerpuff Girls.
Good night. Anyway. All right. Well, Dustin, thanks for coming on. Next time we talk, we'll be talking about The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit. Yeah, it's going to be good.
My dear Frodo.
My dear Frodo.
My dear Frodo. That is my 111th birthday.
Bilbo's drunk.
Yeah, drunk Bilbo.
Today is my 111th birthday.
I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve.
And everyone's like, "What, Bilbo? You're drunk." That didn't make any
drunk,
sense.
Go home.
He's like, okay.
I think Frodo even says, "Have you been at the brewery today?" And he's like, "No." Well, yes, but that's not the point. And so he's totally drunk. Plus, he just smoked weed with Gandalf a few minutes ago.
The finest weed in the South Farthing.
Your love for the halfling's leaf has clouded your mind.
Gandalf, I was watching Reefer Madness yesterday, and that stuff is not good for you. It turns you into bad people. Speaking
you know what else is not good for you, Saruman? Working with Sauron.
Yeah, Working for the Dark Lord. Bilbo, I have to take the ring and the. Well, I forgot what I was going to say. What? I don't know.
I don't know.
Do
you have any biscuits? We need some biscuits.
We need tea right now. Lots of tea.
I'm hungry.
Okay, we'll make the tea. I don't want to make it, though. I don't want to get up. Frodo!
Make
some
the tea! And bring us some more weed.
Hurry, before the sun goes down.
I like to think Sam, the gardener, he's just growing a whole bunch of weed. He's not actually a gardener. He just grows weed.
He's a drug dealer.
Yeah, Samwise Gamgee, the drug dealer in the Shire.
That's how he puts his little daughter through school.
Hobbiton OG.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Stay tuned for the next episode, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
For
Her.